Hey everybody, what is going on? Danz Newz here, and welcome to my review of the Cloverfield Paradox. I'm not going to get super spoilery here, but I'll let you know if I ever get into any spoilery stuff. Anyway, hi, I'm Dan. How are you doing? It's my first review in a while, so let's, keep it a little loosey-goosey here today. So, the Cloverfield Paradox. This was one that was a surprise. I had been following this for a while. I knew they were filming this movie. There were rumors that it was, I think it was what was originally called God Particle, and they were filming it, and I guess they were having some trouble with production, and J.J. Abrams ended up swooping it in, picking it up, I guess, and doing some reshoots and working it into the Cloverfield paradigm, doing some reshoots and incorporating Cloverfield-y stuff, and it kind of sat on a shelf for a while. It kept getting pushed back and pushed back and pushed back for seemingly no reason explained. And then they just dropped it on Super Bowl Sunday. There were rumors that Netflix was going to be picking it up. So it dropped. The TV spot dropped. I was watching the Super Bowl. I had just done a 20-hour stream, had been up for a long time, plus 24 hours by the time the Super Bowl was done. I was doing a bunch of really delirious tweets, just excited about it.
Oh no, what?
We have to connect the Xbox.
Oh no, get Netflix going! I'm so tired!
I was pretty jazzed when it came time the Super Bowl was done. I didn't really have any sort of super interest in the Super Bowl. I was just watching it for the commercials, and it was a great game though. By the time I ended up actually watching this movie, I was very excited. I loved the first movie. I really liked the second movie. I thought it was really great. I saw it a couple times in theaters, and so I was pretty jazzed just to see a fun sci-fi project that, from the commercial, apparently connects to the first movie. And I guess, in a way it connects to all of the Cloverfield movies, in a way. They made it seem like it was a bit more direct, which it is, I guess. Anyway, hi, I'm Dan. Cloverfield Paradox. The movie starts off really, really strongly. I remember being about half an hour into this movie, and I was like, okay, I'm along for this ride. I'm so excited. This is like a new Cloverfield movie. It's on Netflix, like right after I found out it was coming out. I had been waiting a while. It's not like I was like a random Joe Schmo who didn't know anything about another Cloverfield movie. The atmosphere was really great. I thought the cinematography was really great. Shot by Dan Mindell, one of my favorite cinematographers. He's really great. Did a lot of JJ movies. Has he done all of JJ movies? No. He's a great popcorn blockbuster, cinematographer. I really think he's great. There was some really good, just solid performances happening early on, and a lot of really great kind of twisty-turny, what's going on sci-fi stuff once the paradoxes actually start happening with the space station. The whole thing is, they're on the space station. It's like this big particle accelerator thing sort of deal. They don't exactly know what's going to happen when they turn it on, sort of thing. And there's this there's some reshooty kind of, there's Donald Logue pops up at some point, the guy from Gotham. He plays Bullock on Gotham. Anyway, Donald Logue just pops up as like a scientist on TV giving an interview. Looks like he just Skyped in his performance. Literally looked like he Skyped in his performance. It's kind of hilarious. I don't know if he actually showed up at a place and was like, all right, I'm here ready to shoot. Oh, you have some glasses and a bookshelf behind me and a laptop here to set up to film me? Okay. Or if he actually literally just Skyped in his performance. It might have been one of the first literally phoned in performances in a movie. I don't know. He's just explaining, crazy shit can happen if you do this. Ooh, monsters and other realities. That's everything. They mess up. They go to a different reality. And they like tear open space, and there's monsters everywhere and other realities. Ooh. Therefore, Cloverfield universe. It's actually kind of cool. I kind of like that idea. But in execution, it's interesting to see how they go with it. This is a first-time director. The director's name is on the screen now. I don't remember the director's name. First-time director, and it doesn't... It feels like it, but it doesn't. I think there's some really, really great, solid body horror going on. A lot of really spooky stuff happening like the first hour or so. Very intriguing. I like the way it unfolds. There's a lot of like, what the hell is going on in the ship with all these people? You have all these different astronauts from different nations and all that stuff. So it's a very diverse cast. Some points it feels like dialogue could be interchangeable between anybody when you have a cast that big, but and the story's just kind of focusing on the plot and not, characters so much. I mean, as time goes on and things start to happen and unfold, you get a lot more kind of character-specific things going on. But Liz and I were talking about this. I was watching this with Liz, and we were having a nice little conversation about the movie. Some of it feels a little shoehorny, but even then, it's just a fun entry of the movie. Now, I think the biggest thing that's interesting about this is this one, straight to Netflix, going to be on Netflix. The only one not theatrically released, and the next one's going to be theatrically released. I think this is kind of the most important of the movies. This movie is the conceit of the universe, pretty much. This one should have been the first one, really. But I like the idea. I mean, in classic JJ fashion, mystery for a bit and then explanation that was literally an explanation. See, the biggest thing is this was something that was adapted to fit into Cloverfield, so it very much showcases the fact that they had no plan with these movies as far as connection went. And it's kind of clear from the first Cloverfield to 10 Cloverfield Lane that it's not exactly connected, but it is by name in some way. Like, there was no direct connection between those two movies. There was, again, the references that pop up in all the Cloverfields or whatever, or most of the JJ movies. This one had a Kelvin gas station. There's a Kelvin gas station in Super 8 as well. There's a Kelvin everything and everything JJ Abrams because his grandfather. It's just a thing. The number 47 pops up in a lot of JJ stuff as well. And lens flares, if you haven't noticed. That's another little director trademark there. I think you've noticed those ones. The series, I guess, at this point could be kind of where it's less like mystery for the sake of mystery that we didn't really have like planned out, but then hey, here's an answer that kind of is all right, but does make sense, so it's not too bad. I don't know, I never finished Lost, so I never got to really be disappointed by that. I got to be disappointed by Alias well before Lost. So I think it's interesting the implications it has for the series, and as far as hey, this is the movie that explains everything that happened. Here you go. I like it for that. But it's also kind of, it did it a little weakly, kind of. I just want a little bit of spoilers here if you don't care. If you do care, sorry. The last shot of the movie is the Cloverfield monster bursting out of the clouds right after the station goes down. That... I guess they had to do that because they touted so much, like, it's the first one, the first movie will be explained. That's what Executive did when he first came up with that idea. I guess that was the ultimate fan service, especially when they were kind of teasing it in the clouds, but that can't have been the reality that we saw in the Cloverfield movie. I don't feel like. I feel like that's... Could it have been? Was it? I don't know. I mean, they never had dates or anything in the first movie, which makes sense. It was 2008. It was 10 years ago. I guess it could have been that reality, maybe. But either way, I guess it doesn't really matter. It's just multiple realities, and so maybe just these Cloverfield monsters also got sent to this reality as well. And so we're seeing it just rippling throughout all these different realities. It was interesting how this movie is like, it's its own movie with the space station stuff, but it has the echoes of the two previous entries in the movie. So it seemed like that was all the reshoot stuff, was all the stuff with the husband on the ground, some stuff on the space station, but ultimately, like, that's mostly the stuff that got added in there. And it seemed a little tacked on-y-ish. No, I mean, they had this scene at the beginning of the movie, which I think was also a reshoot, and then, all the space station stuff was, the original stuff they shot. So it just seemed kind of cobbled together a little bit, but I don't know if I minded it so much. It was just a fun kind of like, it connects to the Cloverfield stuff. It has a fascinating little story that goes on in the space station, and I think it did what it was trying to do, and I don't think it was amazing. And I think that's what Paramount knew they had. I think they had something that probably wouldn't have done that well in the theater. It maybe might have hurt the franchise a little bit. I kind of understand the move, kind of. In a way, it's not like I'm spending, $20 to go for a couple people to go out to the movie and concessions on top of that and going to see it and being disappointed. I think this kind of, in a way, the Netflix release softened the blow of the movie not being amazing, but still being something that people might like. Which, because it has a lot of elements that are really good. It has that mysterious, like, what's going on feeling. It has that body horror element where it's like, oh, God. Like, there were points where I was kind of like, not looking at the screen. Liz wasn't looking at the screen at points, too. Like, some of the body horror stuff was pretty good. And I've seen some intense body horror before. It was just a good, solid Cloverfield entry. I think at this point, like, I don't think we're at the point where it's like, oh, there's been so many Cloverfield movies and, like, where do they rank the Cloverfield? I think this might have been the weakest of them, but I think in a way one of the most important for the series, and I don't think it was a misfire. I think actually it was a smart move to go the way they did with it. And it's an interesting trend. I wonder if, well, an interesting precedent to set, because there's been nothing like this before. A day and date release upon releasing the first footage of the movie, and on the Super Bowl, no less. What a hell of a marketing campaign. I wonder how it's going to actually affect anything, what the numbers are looking like if they're going to release anything like that. Because I remember there was a big hoopla about Bright and how that really kind of made a splash the weekend it came out. It'll be interesting to see how this ultimately affects everything. I didn't really name too many actors in there. David is in this. Who else is in the movie? The lady from Black Mirror. She was the main lady. And then you had Chris O'Dowd. His arm stuff was good. I liked the arm stuff. That was funny. Who else? The lady from Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Was that her? Were there other notable actors in there? Yo, I was very tired when I watched this movie. Did I tell you that? It had some issues. It has some flaws. It has some mistakes. But ultimately, not terrible. That's, I think, where I landed with it. I liked it. I gave it a thumbs up on Netflix, so, that's helping with their metrics. Like, oh, people like this, that's good. I don't think JJ can completely fail in anything, like, unless it's like Alcatraz or something like that. Didn't that get canceled, like, super quick? He can usually make something good for a bit, and then where am I going with this? I think with JJ, you're excited, but you're always braced for disappointment. I think that's the thing about JJ produced things. But I've been wooed more than I've been disappointed. And even when I've been disappointed, I've been entertained. So I think that's ultimately JJ's goal. He wants to make some entertaining, popcorny, sometimes schlocky, sometimes more, poignant, but shortcutty entertainment. And I don't think that's a terrible thing. All right, I think I've said everything I could say about Cloverfield Paradox. Well shot, had a cool vibe to it. Sometimes a little obvious, sometimes a little corny, sometimes all right faux poignant. It's like, oh, that's supposed to be a poignant scene because it's a video of her family and she's laying in front of it. It's almost like she's in the womb. It's a little 2001-y, but not. It was a cool shot. This is actually a pretty cool shot. I foresee somebody making a trendy, minimalist poster out of that shot. Yeah, like 10 years down the line on Tumblr, if it exists anymore. All right, well, more reviews coming soon to the channel. Thanks for watching, y'all. If you like that, be sure to leave a like. And if you had any thoughts about the movie, be sure to put it in the comments below. I'll be in there and chat back and forth with y'all, I'm sure, about the movie. And yeah, what did you think? Video is over. A Cloverfield Paradox. Okay, bye.